Gopi Jana Bala Girivaradhari Yasodanandan Braja Jananandana Yasodanandan Braja Jananandana Yamatira Vanachari Yamatira Vanachari Jayanta Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayanta Madhava Kunja Vihari Janapa Girivaradhari Saudanandan Brajyanvaranjana Saudanandan Brajyanvaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayanta Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Mahamsa, Vivekananda, Sadhusi Smart, His Divine Grace, Sri Lace, Bhakti-Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Parivakacharya Sri Simati Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai Sri Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai Sri Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Sri Guru Parampara Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Ki Jai Sri Bhagavad Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotee. All glory to Sri Sri Guru and Gaura. Go Premananda Haribo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurunmetam Yeda Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Savidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Savitam Savadutam Brijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakam Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Govika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurage Radha Ganesh Rishavan Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Bevacha Paditanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. And today we're restarting, and we're starting with the introduction. So right from the beginning, correct? So what we'll do is we'll read paragraph by paragraph, and then we'll discuss the meaning of each paragraph, and we'll see how many paragraphs we can do, right? So the introduction there is as preface, setting the scene, introduction is those shlokas we just did, right? And then the mantras finish with Hare Krishna. And then on page 2, it starts, Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad, right? So we'll start from there, right? So Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad, right? So Upanishad means that which gets the hearer ready for transcendence. The Vedas, there's 4 Vedas. Original Veda was Atharva Veda. But then Vedavyas, he split the Veda into 4. He accumulated the knowledge and he wrote it into 4 sections, and he gave different disciples different sections of the Vedas. Rig, Yajur, Samur, Atharva Veda. But the original Atharva, before Kali Yuga, they weren't written down. The Vedas was memorized. They had great intelligence and so on. So in Kali Yuga, it's written down. But previously, it was the knowledge of human society was general. Just like nowadays, we talk about politics and this economics and this and that. And we have this atheistic, materialistic society. And everyone is taught, you're not the body, you're the body, you're not this, there's no such thing as a soul, all these. So those ideas are current in society now, generally. So in the Vedic days, the Vedic knowledge was the currency of exchange and discussion. Everyone knew. Yes, go ahead. Well, I heard that the Vedas were recorded at the end of Dwapara Yuga, previous Yuga, but I don't know if there were no books. There may have been temple records and things like that. Yes, well, that's it. I have never read that there were no books. So I'm not going to say that there wasn't, because there may have been required taxation, kshatriyas, and management, and different temples. They may have, because the idea, you never hear that writing was invented when the recordings were made. So there may have been some recordings in society. I think that's reasonable. And then it was all written down. So writing might have been there. But generally, the knowledge we have heard was recorded by the high level intellect of the time. But I think it would be wrong to say there was no written language. I think that would be, and then suddenly there was written language. I don't think that's doesn't sound reasonable.
Yeah, I think Vedas wrote it on leaves, right?
Palm leaves, yes. Yeah. So there may have been scrolls.
Yeah.
There may have been scrolls with prayers for certain deities, but that is just supposition. You understand supposition? Kind of assumption based on evidence. So the Vedas, they were so Upanishads, the Vedas then, they have 4 sections: Samhita, Yagyas, Aranyakyas, and Upanishads. The Vedas, within themselves, they have, see, look, it's causing allergy. These orange flowers, they don't like me. You see? Anyway, so what am I saying? Um, yeah, so there are 4 parts to each Vedas within. So what is Samhitas? Sanghita. Just like we have Brahma Sanghita. So Sanghita means collection of prayers. Sanghita. Brahma Sanghita. The prayers of Vedavyas. Sorry, Brahma. Brahma Samhita. So Sanghita. And then there is Yagyas. Different yagyas to be performed um, to satisfy different devatas. Indra yagya, you know, the Krishna got into a lot of trouble because he stopped that. So there's different yagyas to different devas. That is to regulate human society. That was the culture of society. You have to think of it. There was no television, there was no newspapers, there was no international travel. There was a culture of the Vedas. The Vedas were the culture. So Dharma, Artha, Yagya is a big part, that you take the first grains and the now it's degraded. Now they have demoniac yagyas where they offer, you know, living beings to different rakshasa deities. That is common nowadays, and they mutilate the genital as a yagya to God. This is all tamagun, and that this wasn't there in the Vedas. These were yagyas to different devatas, not rakshasas. So this is the age of the rakshasas, Kali Yuga, right? So now there's many so-called religions, and they worshipping different ghosts and demons and rakshasas by severing different body parts and doing all sorts of strange things to the body and to pastyas. But that is Kali Yuga. So the yogyas are described, samitas, yogyas, and then what's called aranyakas. And they are described, the guru, the yogya guru, um, is teaching the disciple how to use the prayers uh, in the yajna and what is the procedure. You know, just like if I give you a recording or a paper, how to perform a fire yajna with ghee and yogurt and so on and grains. That's okay. But if I show you practically and I describe it to you in detail, that's what the Aranyakyas were. The Aranyakya were the Yagya Guru teaching the disciple how to practically perform the Vedic Yagyas. And then the Upanishads in the Vedas, there's said to be, I looked it up once, it was on Wikipedia, so I don't know if you want to accept that, but it said that in the Vedas, there's a total of 1600 Upanishads. There is 1600 Upanishads or more. And there, you know, there is the Chaitanya Upanishad, there's 1600. And each Upanishad is considered to be the topmost because it talks about Isha, the Supreme. And the idea of the Upanishads is to prepare you. Okay, now you've been performing your dharma, your artha, your karma, and you're considering moksha. But the Upanishads said they're pointing to transcendence. They're saying beyond material yagyas, beyond giving taxation to the kshatriyas, beyond looking after your children and chanting different mantras, then the real aim of moksha is, as it says in Bhagavatam, muktir hitavanyata rupan swarupena avavashtati. That liberation, mukti, is to be situated in your spiritual body, which is lying in seed form within the soul. It's there. Just like a tree is lying within the seed, an apple seed has a tree in seed form and it will grow with the addition of material energy. So we are spirit souls. We have a spiritual form in seed form and it will grow with the addition of spiritual energy, but the seed stays an apple tree or a banyan tree. So every spirit soul has a particular relationship, individual, it's constitutional. And if you want to look it up, I would, you get the Veda base and just do a general search, constitutional, the word constitutional. I did that once and there was about 2,000 references. And it was all about the constitutional nature of the soul. Because we have three basic aspects to our constitutional nature. Number one is Jivara Swarupoi Nichera Krishnadas. We are spirit soul and we are constitutionally Krishnadas. Now we're serving our own senses and we're serving this material world, but this is in direct service to Krishna. So we're constitutionally the servant of the Supreme Lord. The second constitutional aspect of the soul is Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai, that the soul is constitutionally has Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem in seed form, but it's not awakened. And Prabhupada explains that it's dormant. And he explains that just like in an infant child, it cannot walk, starts to walk, most children when they're about 1 year. But dormant within the child is the ability to walk. So Prabhupada uses that an example. Also, different acharyas, that we have Krishna Prem dormant. It's there within the soul, but it's not awakening. And Prabhupada expands that explanation. He says, just like the mother and the father, they help the child to walk. They hold the arms and they encourage the child. Oh, yes, oh, very good. And the child is walking. So Prabhupada uses that as an example that we have the ability, we have Krishna Prem within us, but the Guru encourages us to awaken that ability. This is the point. Sometimes, it's said, the Guru, give me your mercy. But this is really instruction and inspiration, and it awakens. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai. So Sadhakabanai means that it's not gained from some other place. It's there within the soul, dormant, Sadhakabanai. Shravanadi Sudachite, by hearing and chanting and the 9 processes, it wakes up, right? So that's the second constitutional nature. The soul is Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, and before that, Jivera Swarupoi Nichera Krishna Das. So we're Krishna Das, but we're Krishna Das with Prem. So then the third aspect, constitutional nature of the soul, is we have a Swarup, Muktir Hitamanyata Rupena. And so when Krishna Prem awakens through sadhana, through grace of Guru, then the Swarup wakes up. And that is called the Siddha Deha. Siddha Deha. Rupa Goswami, he's written in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he wrote, there's very important sloka. Seva Sadhaka Rupena, Siddha Rupena, Chatra Hi. The devotional service should, Chatrahi, certainly, be performed on 2 platforms. One is Sadhaka Rupena, right? We have to regulate the senses, follow regulative principles, go to Mangalarti, chant a fixed number of rounds, do some service that's practical to our nature, pay obeisances to Guru, study the Shastra. This is Sadhaka Rupena. Sadhaka means practitioner form, Sadhaka Rupena. So we have to perform that, regulate the body. And we're just discussing with Jai Nitai this morning that that's what the GBC and also the presidents and Prabhupada, we were discussing Prabhupada, and we were discussing that in Prabhupada's writings, his letters rather, he was always telling the GBCs, and he was that I want the GBCs and the sannyasis and the big managers, they should go from center to center, and what would be their concern? To see that everyone was going to morning program and evening program, that they had good sadhana, right? Of course, if you're a little poorly or you're traveling or something, but Prabhupada saw that if people are following 16 rounds, 4 regulative principles, hearing the Bhagavatam regularly and so on, this would elevate everyone in the temple to a good spiritual level. And then there would be less politics and conflict, which you get when you have a load of people together. So that's what we were discussing, Jayani Thai. And I was saying that Prabhupada also didn't like resolutions. He said, resolutions, no solutions, right? He's a resolution, dissolution, no solutions. He said something like that one time. Meaning that when people sit together, they make they make this idea, this we should do that. No, this is good idea. And then after the meeting, because I've done management, then nobody can remember what they were talking about, and things just carry on normally. So, so I said like that. Uh, resolutions, assemblies, and lutions, no solutions. So Prabhupada wanted, he emphasized that sadhana bhakti is very important, because if people are living in a pure way, and one big important point of sadhana bhakti is it must be real prasadam. You know, it must, all the prasadam should be cooked by pure devotees, offered by pure devotees, and it should be healthy prasadam, not seed oil and or bad oil and maida and bad cooking and aluminium pots and all these poisonous things. Prabhupada once said, next time you see an aluminium pot, you tell the cook, he, don't quote my name though. I don't want any politics. But this, I can't waste time. You talking, no solution. Okay, kind of kill yourself, poison yourself if you like, but don't poison others. So, but Prabhupada said that aluminium pot was so polluted it shouldn't be used as potty in the toilet. You Indian people know what potty means. It means a small little jug that you know, cleanse yourself after the daily ecstasy or something. So that Prabhupada said you shouldn't even use it for potty. This is because always remember Prabhupada started a herbs and medicine business, so he knew he was, you know, he learned that he was making his base was Allahabad. So he said that, yeah, but if people want to take aluminium, I know that in Germany, if they have inspectors in Germany, they have them in Europe. If you have a restaurant and the inspectors come and they see that you are using aluminium pot, close the restaurant. It's completely closed like that in one day. And you have to, um, I'll tell you a story if you like. One time I was on a campaign 2, 3, 4 years ago. I was trying to stop them using aluminium pots. I thought it's my duty. Eventually, Goranga, or the head cook, he said, yes, you're right. I'm going to order steel pots. I said, well, also sell the aluminium, get rid of them. And then he said, no, no, I'll use them on festival days. Oh, what? No solutions. Oh, yeah, they're poisonous. You've convinced me, but we'll only use them on Janmashtami. Huh? Where's what? So anyway, in Kali Yuga, in Dwapara Yuga, the Brahmins had intelligence, at least enough to figure that much. But anyway, don't quote my name, but don't take anything from an aluminium pot. It's poisonous. It's poisonous. So anyway, that is sadhana, should be performed very paka. And then you're living pure, Chaitudapana Marjanam, and then you become peaceful. But then, so that's sadhaka rupena, but siddha rupena chatrahi. Now, siddha rupena means the awakening spiritual body, because that's our third constitution, the third aspect of what we're constitutionally. One aspect is we're servant of Krishna constitutionally. One, constitutionally, we have Krishna Prem. And then the third aspect is we have Swarup. We have a spiritual form, dormant. It's all one constitutional nature, but three aspects to remember. And so, Siddharupena Chatrahi means one should also practice bhakti, not just doing sadhana bhakti, going Mangalarti and working hard, but one should also be developing technique to awaken the Siddha Rupena, the spiritual body. So how is that done? This is the big question. How does the infant go from constitutionally able to walk until he can actually walk? How does he transmit? So that is not so difficult. If one knows the technique, if one knows, and that's what I said at the beginning of the class, Save Pumsam Paro Dharmo. This is in the Bhagavatam, which is the topmost of the Vedic literatures, that the highest occupation, dharma, for humanity, Save Pumsam Paro Dharmo, like I say, Prem Purushartha, the supreme goal is Prem. So is what? Yato Bhaktir Adhokshaje. The highest dharma is to render bhakti to Adhokshaja. Now, Adhokshaja is one of the names of Krishna, but it's very significant. They're all significant in their context. But here, Adhokshaja means he who is transcendental, he who is beyond the material senses. Now, sadhaka rupena means you are following sadhana bhakti in such a way that's regulating your material body. But you should also be performing activities that awaken the siddha rupena, which is your constitutional form, particular as in Madhurya Ras, that means conjugal mood. And there's varieties within that. There is Manjari, there is this. So there's a whole, but they're as varied as the soul, because every soul is an individual. You understand? It's not all one. That is impersonalism. So we have that constitutionally, and it is there. And Prabhupada explains that. You can look up the references when you look up constitutional in the Vedabase. We are constitutionally, we have a relationship. So how to awaken that? That is Siddha Rupena Chatrahi. That is the practice of awakening. And Sadhaka Rupena is good. It regulates the body. I'm following regulative principles. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. I'm avoiding bad association, right? But that will not awaken Krishna Prem very quickly if you're just externally regulating the body. So Siddha Rupena means Yato Bhaktir Adhokshaja, to render devotional service to the spirit, the transcendental Lord, Adhokshaja. And Adhokshaja is significant because it means that personality who is beyond the material senses. Right? We are a spirit soul within the material body, and we are seeing this material world through the filter, if you like, of the material body. But we have to realize Krishna not through the material senses, but through the consciousness, through purified consciousness. So sadhana bhakti makes a good format, a good arena, But within that, we have to, with pure consciousness, manmana bhavamanito, majjaji namaskaru. We have to, so running around is good, working hard for Krishna, that's very good. But within our consciousness, siddharupena chatrahi, we must be performing those activities which put us in touch with transcendence. Now, Rupa Goswami also, he explains, Atak Shri Krishna Nabadi Nabhaved Graham Indriya, that the Supreme Lord is beyond the material body and senses, but Swayame Siddharu, what is the next shloka? Takshi Sevan Mukhi Jivado Swayam Eva Spriyada. Thank you. Sevan Mukhi. Starting Sevan Mukhe, Jivado, with the tongue. Then Swayam Eva Spurtiyada. That means the transcendental Lord is manifest. He just out of his grace. Now, this is the point, that we are on the material platform. We performing sadhana, yes, but ultimately Krishna reveals himself. You understand? We can't force the way into the spiritual world. Like sometimes people think, I'm God. I'm in the spiritual world. I'm controlling the universe. That is a meditation, actually. You can do that. That's called ahanga upasana. Meditate on the super soul. That's what the yogis do, and they think the super soul is regulating the universe, and my consciousness is united with the super soul. So that is okay if it's performed in knowledge, but in bhakti, we want the Supreme Lord to reveal himself. Therefore, he reveals himself how? Oh, hey, Vaishnav Thakur, Dayaras, through the Vaishnav, through the Guru, through himself, through Sadhu Sangha, he reveals himself. We shouldn't think, oh, he may not reveal himself. No, Krishna promises, Bhakti Vinod talks about this in Jivadharma. He says, the devotee should know that if he performs a good Ekadashi, right, the Ekadashi, I'm going to chant 16 rounds, and I'm going to fast very carefully on Janmastami. I'm going to perform my sadhana very nicely. Then Bhakti Vinod Thakur says the devotee should be confident that Krishna will reciprocate. It's not that he will reciprocate with this devotee because he likes his nose, or this devotee, he went to college and this one didn't. No, he reciprocate with everyone. So a devotee should be very careful, and the word Bhakti Vinod uses is scrupulous. The scrupulous means very perfect, regulated. So Krishna Yetamam, he reciprocates. If you perform your sadhana, you study Bhagavatam, and you read Gita, and you contemplate Krishna, then he will reciprocate. So, and that is, he reciprocates more than we perform bhakti to him. He reciprocates more. There's also a sloka like that in Brahma Samhita. Yasvinda Gopamatavendra Mahosvakarma Bandana Rupa Palambaji Damata Noti Karmadi Nirdahati Kinchu Chabakti Bhajam Govinda Madi Purisham Tamam Bhajami. This is very nice sloka. Near the end. Yes, here it is. Yasvinda Gopam. I adore the supreme primeval Lord Govinda, who burns up to their roots all fruitive activities of those who are imbued with devotion. Right? That means the sadhaka, the devotee. He burns up the root of their pap and punya. He frees them from the material world. And impartially, this is the point, impartially, he's not favoring or like there is a false religion that says we are the chosen people and everybody else, they are an animal or an animal soul. That is demoniac. That is bogus. Krishna is impartial, impartially ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruits of one's activities. So he ordains, that means he gives the result of material activity, of all those who walk in the path of work, karma. So he says he burns up the roots of the devotees, but those that are on the material platform, he impartially gives them their result in accordance with the chain of their previously performed works, no less in the case of a tiny insect that bears the name Indragopa than in that of Indra, the king of the Devas. Right? So Krishna, so devotee should perform sadhana with this, but siddharupena, that comes next. Savepam Sampara, Supreme Lord is at Hokshaja. How to do that siddharupena. Is it very complicated? No. It means ahoitiki apratiyata. This is what is said there. Savepam Sampara, ahoitiki apratiyata. Ahoitiki means that you perform bhakti without any personal motivation, meaning for my satisfaction, my karmic good result. You just perform ahoitiki bhakti, means causeless, without material cause. Now, this is essential to understand. This is super essential, because if we perform bhakti so that I can get a good wife, or I can get a good salary, or I can get a good position, I get a good result, that will not wake up your siddharupena, because siddharupena will only awaken ahoitiki, causeless, if you are desiring some material result, then that's what you'll get. You'll get that result. You're doing it in relation to Krishna. Very good. You're purified. Akarma, sarvakama, muksakama, udariyadi. Very good. Do everything. But the intelligent, well-instructed devotee, no, I just render service to Krishna for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna and Gauri. I'm doing my sadhana, my chanting as an offering to Krishna. I'm not asking, I want this, I want that. And we don't, if we consider, we don't have to ask for anything, because what? We already have the Purushartha, we have the greatest thing within the soul. Constitutionally, we have the greatest thing. Huh? We have Krishna Prem, we have Radharani Prem, we have Bhakta Prem within our soul. So we don't need to ask for anything. But if we are contaminated, if our sadhana is not good, then we will think, I want this and that. And then the Krishna Prem is slowly wake up. It's still sluggish. But if one gives up motivation, and one thing, I'm chanting for your pleasure, Krishna. I'm planting because it's my offering to Guru. And you're not thinking, I'm offering to you, Guru, but now I want to be temple president. I don't like that buffalo in charge. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, but that kind of thought, right, is not pure bhakti. Because we want something. But the bhakta is just happy to give, to give. I get chanting, I'm studying, and then we can do this with everything, not just chanting, but we can study as Krishna, worshipping Krishna through our intelligence, studying the Shastra to It's a glorification. Cleaning the temple, it's glorification. Going to the holy places, Padasevanam, so on and so forth. We do it causeless, ahoitiki. And then the other second word is apratiyata. Apratiyata means unbroken. So you are doing causeless devotion with loving attitude, and that means loving attitude will wake up very quickly. Just like if the baby is properly instructed, the infant, very quickly it can learn to walk if it's the right age. But if the mother and father just let the baby run around on the floor, it, the baby may not, going to school and he's still crawling on the baby, on the stomach. But so if the child is helped, then quickly can learn to walk. So Krishna Prem can quickly awaken. We shouldn't think, oh, this is just for Rupa Goswami or Raghunath Das or Bhatta Goswami. No, everyone is constitutionally as Krishna Prem. It's there. It's not, it's just two words to remember. Causeless and unbroken means that we're doing it Kirtaniya Sadahari. We're doing Manmana Bhavamadto. We're doing it constantly. We're not thinking, I'm not saying this is your case or in any case, but we don't like it. Some of the man-made religions. Go to church on Sunday and confess your sin and then be sinful all week and then confess your sin and no, you should try to live a pure life, and you should always try to be doing something devotional, Chovis Kanta. But that takes practice, but you'll get the taste for that only in full if you are unmotivated. This is the important point. If you come to the temple or the devotional and you think, I want this, I want that, I want this, then you're not going to awaken Krishna praying to any. You may get good association. Eventually, you may become inspired, but you have to understand this at the beginning, even right at the beginning. And then Siddharupena Chatrahi. Then your Krishna praying will awaken within your sadhana by grace of Guru and Krishna. So this is an important point. So it's 7 o'clock now. Maybe we should finish. I don't know how much of the introduction we did. Yeah. Did I finish the first line? Yeah. Bhagavad-Gita is known as Gita Upanishad, which is the essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. Yes. So like I say, the Upanishads, they teach at Hoksija. Do that, learn that. And the Bhagavad Gita is part of the fifth Veda. So just like the Vedanta Sutra is the summation of the Upanishads. This is important. The Vedanta Sutra, we follow all the great acharyas. They wrote commentary. We follow particularly Baladev Vidibhushan gave Mahaprabhu's commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Gita Upanishad. So we follow that commentary because it describes the mission of Mahaprabhu, Kali Yuga Dharma. So the Gita Upanishad then is the Vedanta Sutra, the summation of the Upanishads from the fifth Veda. The fifth Veda was created because the original four Vedas, they are highly technical and so on, and you need a guru to get into all the yagyas there. But the fifth Veda was made for people in Kali Yuga. It's in story form. It's very interesting, and it illustrates the Vedic knowledge in a practical way. In the same way the Bhagavatam or the Gita, we see practically Krishna and Arjuna, and we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya and his devotees, how they interact. So it is practical. So In the Vedic, yes. So we did one sentence. That's good. Bhagavad-Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad, essence of Vedic knowledge, and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. Yeah. So this is the fifth Veda, Vedanta Sutra. You can think of it like that. And just like in the Vedanta Sutra, there is the Karma Kanda section, there is the Moksha Kanda section, and then there is the Bhakti Kanda and so on and so forth. So this has bhakti and karma and everything within it, just like the Upanishads. The Vedanta Sutra has four sections. One is Sambandha Kanda. It means the section about Sambandha. The second section is Abhideya Kanda. It means how to perform bhakti. The third section is called Prayojan section. What is the goal? And the fourth section of Vedanta Sutra is called Mukti Kanda. And it is the description of the soul in a liberated condition. When he is Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Siddhaka, his spiritual body is developed, then what is his existence in that? So that kanda means corner or section. So that is very interesting to read Valade Vidyabhushan. I think Banu Swami has made a nice translation. It's very philosophical, but it's very relishable because it's all clear. It's all Vaishnavism. So we did the first sentence. Any questions on this first sentence? Huh? Tell Dharma, we gave full description. Yes. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. So, okay, I'll give you a test. What are the three aspects of the constitutional nature of the soul that we discussed? First aspect is Sat. He's eternal, right? But then he's eternally. Remember, I said three aspects. Nitya, a servant. Yeah, but the first thing is Jivara Swarupa Nityara Krishna Das. He's constitutionally servant. And we see that even in the material world, we're serving our body, we're serving our wife, we're serving our children, we're always serving. We always have a service. So, and then the second, constitutional.
Prema.
Yes, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Yes. And the third constitutional eternal nature is Swarup. Jivara Swarupa. We have a inbuilt Swarup, own form. The soul it's like a seed that has not sprouted. It's the beginning of Bhagavatam. So those are the three aspects of the soul. And how are they awoken? Sadhana, and then Siddha Rupena. Siddha Bhakta is awakening his Krishna Prem, his Swarup, right? The sadhaka, the neophyte, is good. He's regulating his body, but he must be instructed. And so, how is the Siddha Rup awoken? What's the two words? Well, three words. Adhoksaja, right? Bhakti to Adhoksaja. And what is that bhakti? Ahoitaki. Yeah, ahoitaki apratiyata. Ahoitaki means without material self-interest. It's one is performing yajna. I'm chanting for you, Krishna. I'm to you, Radharani, for you, Gurudev. for you, Acharya. I'm chanting for your pleasure. And you decide if you want to give me something, just like Mahaprabhu, as Slishiva Padaratam, if you trample me or embrace me. So the devotee, that's causeless bhakti. That wakes up. And then apratiyata means he should be trying to come to the position where he's kirtaniya sadat, is always performing in bhakti. But that takes development of the soul. So therefore, sadhana bhakti is very important because that makes us a devotee by habit. You see, you become, oh, I always get up a mangala, I always chant my round. It's a habit, you see. So that makes us pratiyata. But then when we get a little bhava and prem, then we're always thinking, you see, like you see that in the great devotees, the cowherd boys, Radharani, Madhish, they're always thinking of Krishna, apratiyata. It's not part-time job. Okay, so that's one sentence. Next week, maybe two. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Any question? Yes. Well, it is a part of spiritual knowledge stated by Shastra and Acharyas that Prabhupada gives the example like 10%, 11%, waking up the soul, the swarup, the natural spiritual nature. He gives that as an example of 10, 15. So if in one life you become 25% Krishna, you will not lose that. You will be born again in a situation to perform bhakti starting from 25. You'll continue because it's sat. You waken up the soul. And we see that sometimes devotees, they're more advanced very quickly than another devotee. But everybody can make advancement. And that advancement will be never lost. But due to life and some change of circumstance, right? One may think, now I have to get a job and work, you know, get a job in the, you know, I have to become a school teacher or I have to drive a tom-tom. But one should keep one's sadhana and one should keep one's hearing and chanting, shravanam kirtanam. One should do that even if one is now married and one has a job. One shouldn't think that, oh, I'm married now, I can't make advancement. No, the man and the wife, they're married and they get a job or something. They make a combination to help one another. Okay, they're getting some material income, but they're using it for Krishna. So it's all dovetailed, Prabhupada used it. It's all used in for spiritual realization. And that's why it's important. That's why I'm saying that devotees learn to get the taste. You see that 10% advancement means 10% taste for Krishna prema. You see, if you can get that taste, you will not lose the taste for it. You become addicted to Krishna consciousness. You understand? You get a taste. Oh, I like Krishna consciousness. I like reading the Bhagavatam. I like chanting. I like going to the temple, right? We see that in the temple, right? The children, oh, they're dancing, they're getting the taste. It's very easy, natural. But one should understand that taste is based on hoitikiya pratiyata and getting good instruction, philosophical instruction. If some people may, yes, you should be a devotee and that way your family will be very good. that is karma kanda. You understand? But a devotee think, I'll be a devotee and then my family will, Krishna will send the result. So you have to get your priorities correct. It doesn't matter if you're grihasta or sannyasi or whatever, young or old, but your priority has to be Save pum samparo bhaktir yato bhaktir et hoksaja. I'm going to spend this life becoming in a devotee, ahoitikiya pratiyata, yenatma suprasidati. Then you'll feel satisfied. So you don't. There's no circumstance where you can just turn off being a devotee because I have some problem. You understand? You can deal with the material world as yagya, manmana of a madbhaktu, right? Madhyaji, mam namaskaru. Madhyaji means whatever situation, I'm brahmachari, married, old, young, and I'm maintaining my bhakti, nitya yuk, nitya yukta vairag. I'm doing everything for Krishna, whether I'm grihasta, old or young, married, sannyasi, whatever. Do you understand? Yes, it's all in consciousness. It's all ultimate, and that's why I'm saying Siddha Rupena means the conscious body. You understand? We want to do good sadhana, but we want to make the mind conscious of Krishna through causeless devotion. And we have to understand that in the spiritual world, that's how everyone is. Krishna is not dancing with the gopis to enjoy, or the gopis are not dancing to enjoy, but they're not even considering I'm giving or taking. They're just in ecstasy. Do you understand? They're beyond. They're beyond. We are thinking, oh, Radharani is unmotivated. Krishna is unmotivated. Mother Yashoda is unmotivated. We think in this philosophical approach. That's good. But we also have to understand that Mother Yashoda, she's in ecstasy of Krishna praying. She's not making a calculation uh, to be causeless or unmotivated. You understand? Krishna, the spiritual world is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's an ocean of ecstasy. The devotee, everyone is interacting in ecstasy in their own particular relationship. They're not calculating, I'm an unmotivated devotee of Krishna. They're not thinking, that's for us, sadhakas learning the spiritual world. They are just thinking, ah, it's such a beautiful night. Hare Krishna, Hare. They're just in ecstasy. You understand? They're beyond me and mine and you. I'm, you yeah, we want to learn the philosophy, ahoitikiya pratita, but this is philosophical understanding. We have to understand it. But then we have to look at the spiritual world, like I say, and just think, wow, they're just dancing in ecstasy. They're not, they're not thinking in a philosophical way. You understand? So the gopis are said like that. They're just the gopis are just young girls, but they're the greatest philosophers of. They're beyond all the rishis, right? Uddhava, he carried a message from Dwarka uh, to Vrindavan. He said, oh, tell them I'm coming, I'm returning soon. And then Uddhava saw the Brijvasis, how they were in complete ecstasy, enacting Krishna's pastimes. And one of the reasons Krishna sent Uddhava was so that he could see what real bhakti is. Because he was in Dwarka, and Krishna is a king, and there's a certain Aishwarya and formality there. But when Uddhava went to Vrindavan, he just see, they're in ecstasy. They are forgetful of everything else. You understand? When he went to Vrindavan. Yeah. So we have to get that vision from the commentary of the acharyas and the great devotees. They give it, oh, that's what the meaning of apratiyata means. They cannot think of anything else to do. Unbroken, unmotivated. They just don't think of anything else. You understand? It's just automatic, if you like. It's constitutional. This is the point. Constitution. So, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Srimati Radharani K. Jai. Bhagavad-Gita K. Jai. See you next Friday. Please come.
Hare Krishna, Krishna